Gabby's about to give me a monster movie education in this trailer reaction.
Hello? Is anyone there? I'm trying to reach.
Oh, snap!
I see lots of lightning and I think the shadow of Mothra? Or...
I don't know. That was Mothra. It's hard to tell right now. I don't think I was able to notice the shape of your being very. It was a little hard.
Senators,
Oh, what
we
the
believe
heck
that
was
these
that?
titans are just the tip of the iceberg.
I don't know what that
Which of these titans are here to protect us?
Oh my god!
And which of these titans are
Oh,
here
okay,
to
that's
threaten
Actually,
us?
wait, that was not Mothra.
No. What's his name? Oh. Is it
So
Rodan?
you'd want to make Godzilla
I think so.
our pet?
Yeah, something
No.
like that.
We would be his.
I don't know much about.
You're sure he's gonna be okay? They're everywhere.
Battling for dominance. A rival alpha to Godzilla.
Wait, we're so ready to do that.
Huh?
You gotta be kidding.
Well, somebody's mind seems to have been really blown away. Oh, nope, don't.
Real man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Heck yes. Face off between King Ghidorah and Godzilla. That itself will make the movie, man.
Yeah,
Oh
I just
my-
hope it's well paced, unlike last time. So, now that the trailer's over, hey guys, Woodman, Bobby, and Gabby, we're back again to discuss yet another Godzilla trailer. Thankfully, it wasn't just the same thing as last time. This one, somebody's ready for more.
I am absolutely ready. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I
And one,
love Mothra. Just, oh my gosh, those beautiful wings.
mm-hmm.
Ah! I love Mothra.
Yeah, we could clearly see that.
I'm super excited to see King Ghidorah face off with Godzilla again, which is probably going to be really awesome. Why do I say probably? It more than likely will be, because it's just freaking awesome saying that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess for me, I'm approaching with a bit more skepticism because, as I've said in previous videos, that me and Steven, we saw Godzilla King of the Monsters, which, that title, especially for a sequel, is the follow-up to the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, which was alright in terms of effects, but it was a very poorly paced movie. I remember me and Steven were just bored to tears. It was very slow, especially the middle. There were literally parts that I wanted to fall asleep in. But this one, at least the trailer, is promising a lot of the classic Godzilla characters, right, Gabby? Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the part I'm most excited about, because we're going. It's you can tell it's going back to what made the whole concept of kaiju's fun. Just kind of like, it's an unannounced, at least amongst themselves, competition to see which one has greater powers, which one can kick the other one's butt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complete power play, and it's just amazing. That, and then they can become superheroes when they're not fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And have children.
That sounds like a completely different kind of a movie, but what kind of movie are you realistically expecting, Gabby?
I'm pretty much expecting a revamped version of Monsters All Out Attack. I think that's how it's called. Because it was basically the same idea, where you had all these different kaiju just, butting heads. And, more specifically, we had King Ghidorah and Godzilla facing off, just like we have in this situation now.
Mm-hmm. And is that
I'll
a
definitely
thing?
be looking at how similar it is to that movie. I won't expect it to be shot-for-shot remake by any means. That would be extremely disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely something along the lines of that. Just more kind of like modern, if you will.
Yeah. Because it's basically what I'm looking at is it's kind of like the Hollywood reimagining of that story, at least from first glance.
Exactly. And Monsters All Out Attack is probably the main movie that got me interested in kaiju in the first place. So that probably explains why I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like it almost looks like you had a bit of a Monsters family reunion where you just saw everybody and just had this like jolt of nostalgia come through you, Gabby.
No, there's one person we're missing.
Who?
Gamera! Where's Gamera?
Which I'm just thinking maybe they don't want to blow their whole load, because it's just like, we'll give you...
It's really hard to sell off a high-speed spinning turtle with jets for legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think arms too.
Which, full disclosure, I at least have seen one Gamera movie. We were at Steven's place together and we saw one, but that's, aside from the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, that's the only one I've personally seen. While you, Gabby, you sound like you've had a ton of experience with prior Godzilla.
I wouldn't say a ton. I've looked into it here and there. I watched a Mothra movie. Again, I don't remember which Mothra movie it was, but I just absolutely loved it. I saw Monsters All Out Attack. That has to be my absolute favorite from the ones I've seen. I saw, when we all watched together, Gamera. I've even seen Godzilla 2000. That probably was my introduction, but I didn't really think much of it just because I already knew. People said it wasn't really like a fair representation of the concept, so it was just like, oh, okay, Hollywood screwing up again, whatever.
Yeah.
I also did know about Mechagodzilla. I don't remember how I knew about Mechagodzilla. Somewhere. But, yeah, I mean, I've looked into it.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Godzilla King of the Monsters Facebook page, and they're really advertising Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan.
Yeah,
So,
that was the one. That was the one that looked like a pterodactyl Rodan.
The one that was flying over and you saw its shadow?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, mm-hmm. So, I don't know, how exactly is this going to work? Because, from the trailer, it looks like it's that Godzilla and Ghidorah are going to face off, but what about Mothra and Rodan?
Well, that's the thing, because the two main forces we do have in the lineup would most likely be Godzilla and King Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why they're really playing it as them two facing off. But you best believe Mothra and Rodan are going to get in on the action, if not by being opponents of either one of King Ghidorah or Godzilla at one point, or coming in sort of like tag team wrestling strategy thing. where, out of nowhere, like Deus Ex Machina type style, just, either Mothra or Rodan just comes in just like, pshoo, sides with one of them. At least that's how I picture it. More than anything, if I remember Monsters All Out Attack, it was kind of just them all wreaking havoc on the city. Mm-hmm. And then just whichever ones came into contact with each other just started fighting off first. So it can be any kind of combination. More than likely, though, Godzilla and King Ghidorah are going to be the last sort of like meetup between any of the kaiju. Just because it's like the biggest battle we're all looking forward to. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to say. The other thing, I guess, is that I'm wondering how specifically Mothra's going to play in, because it's hard to tell from the trailer alone whether they're playing Mothra off as like a protector, as they tended to do mainly with Mothra, because Mothra is still a kaiju, you still have the whole idea where it's a giant moth and it might have attacked the city once. But for the most part, it was one of the kaiju that mainly got painted in a positive light. So when you think of like the hero kaiju stereotype, that's kind of what mostly applies to Mothra. So I don't know if they're going that route, or they're going, the main route where it's like, kaiju are just destroying the city and they're just like, they're not necessarily evil, mm-hmm. but they just don't know better. Because you do have the guy who said, they were protectors of the earth, mm-hmm. sort of thing. But we've also seen people interacting with Mothra in the trailer, mm-hmm. and Mothra wasn't doing anything to them. While you see King Ghidorah, Rodan, and I don't know if we saw anything from Godzilla, but they were just ready to like bite someone's head off.
Because that's what I got the gist from. I know there was kind of chatter of who's going to be, who's going to be protecting us, who's going to be the villain. Didn't the Ken Watanabe character say something about, Godzilla's going to be our pet, or something like that?
Because that's the thing, too. Godzilla's probably the biggest wild card in the whole lineup. Mm-hmm. Because Godzilla's done everything.
Yeah. Because in the Gareth Edwards movie, like, at first everyone's like, Godzilla's the bad guy, but then in the, by the end of the film, he basically takes down the two other monsters.
Well, that's the other thing, too. You not only have that, but, after first several movies, I guess, if I remember correctly, or I heard of this correctly, movie after movie, after a while, Godzilla was just straight up a superhero. Mm-hmm. Like, they were fighting off foreign invaders, foreign enemies, kind of like just evil people in general. Mm-hmm. But then you also had him facing off with Ultraman around the same time period, and it just got really confusing because they had both kind of ideas going around where Godzilla is either a full-on hero or a full-on villain. Mm-hmm. But there's just like no way to know. More than likely, looking at this, it's going to be a situation like you described, where it's just kind of like first they think Godzilla's like a threat, but then the Godzilla ends up being a strong force against another threat, because mm-hmm. that's usually how it goes down with stuff like this. That's how it went down with a Monsters All Out Attack. Mm-hmm. I'd be surprised if they pulled anything else off, but it has happened.
Yeah,
why? I have no idea.
Yeah, so even as a fan of the monsters yourself, you're basically not exactly sure where this could go?
I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm expecting more than anything something like in Monsters All Out Attack, where mm-hmm. Godzilla is just kind of like shifting through the narrative between good and evil,
Mm-hmm.
evil and good. But more than being painted completely evil or completely good, it's more just going to be like a force of nature where it just happens to be in our favor by the end of the film.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to phrase it as that. Like, it's pretty clear we're going to get a Godzilla versus King Ghidorah match at the end. Even the IMDb plot, their little summary here says, the cryptozoological agency Monarch faces off against a battery of god-sized monsters, including the mighty Godzilla, who collides with Mothra, Rodan, and his ultimate nemesis, the three-headed King Ghidorah.
That's a pretty accurate description.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the lineup for Monsters All Out Attack was. Just to see what difference we're gonna have.
Okay, because it does sound like, they are taking a lot of influence from Monsters All Out Attack, even if the lineup isn't exactly the same.
Oh, yeah, and that would only be superficial in the sense of kind of like inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm looking here at the poster just to make sure again, and I do see King Ghidorah, I see Mothra, so we did have Mothra, and I think that looks like an old school version of Rodan, but I'm not sure. It could be... oh, no, it wasn't Rodan. It was another one called Baragon.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's, like, the only difference, I guess, here. It's just, like... I mean, Baragon was barely in there. Haha.
Yeah, I mean...
It was, like, if I remember correctly, Baragon was one of the first kaiju to go, so...
Mm-hmm. So...
We'll see if Rodan has better, how should I say, chance of sticking around to see the action.
Yeah, I see. So... Okay, that was pretty amazing. But is the basic just to expect that these monsters are going to clash?
Yeah, more than anything, I mean... Yeah. Who knows? I could possibly see Mothra teaming up with Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
If anything. But then that would probably imply Mothra going more against Rodan and then sort of like coming in later to help out Godzilla when he's facing King Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a speculation. It is. There's honestly no way to know for sure unless we just magically were able to watch the movie already.
Yeah. It's just that it seemed like we had, a bit of a precedent.
Oh, definitely. I can't remember how it went down. Monsters All Out Attack. I believe Mothra was actually out for the count by the time that Godzilla faced off King Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm.
That may possibly happen here too.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, Godzilla being that wild card, is probably going to have a lot less restraint than Mothra, looking at how Mothra typically is portrayed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we didn't even see Mothra, like in that last scene when it looked like Godzilla and King Ghidorah were, gonna,
Oh, yeah. Plus, I feel like if anything, they might end up teaming up, like the Bureau may end up teaming up with Mothra as well, just to, kind of, get people out of dangerous areas.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mothra would be a great opportunity to just kind of, transport a good amount of people at a time out of any kind of dangerous area. You know, just because it's you know, Mothra's been the main one that's had kind of positive interaction with humans. And seems to have that in this film too. You know, you definitely have that. I don't know if they'd actually go through with that though.
Yeah, and the next monster up that would probably have a closer connection to the humans would be Godzilla himself, again based on the last movie.
Yeah, and unless we're looking at you know, the other kinds of movies that I mentioned where it's, you know, particularly the one with Godzilla's kid, I don't think we're gonna get anything like that.
No, I don't think we're gonna get. I mean, like, I'm even skeptical that we're gonna get Gamera or something like that. I mean, it doesn't look like if they did. I'm pretty sure that's like Gamera's not the kind of character that they would just keep a secret or like we don't want people to know until they go see the movie. Like, I feel like they would, you know,
I mean, if
say
they
right
did
away.
do that, that would be amazing.
It would. It's just that unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get him in the film.
I don't know. I feel like Gamera is kind of underrated, sadly.
Yeah.
He's fun. I mean, does he kick butt? Maybe not, but it's fun. And he's. I mean, who wouldn't like to have like jet powers? Like jet packs. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, even mentally, I'm trying to think how would Gamera fit, because, you know, we're getting this movie next year, and then there's gonna be Godzilla versus King Kong. So it's just like, where would Gamera fit unless they have to like kind of force him in somehow?
Legit Deus Ex Machina style, just kind of like, hey guys, Gamera's here to save the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only way, and even then, I can't picture them doing that.
That would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible.
Because then we would go from having, because I said that the Gareth Edwards Godzilla was kind of like well intentioned. Like, I do like the atmosphere of that movie, but it was overall a really slow bore movie. I feel like we would just be going from that to something that's incredibly complicated, and since these movies are more intended to be more for a Hollywood audience, I don't think they would go down that road, because then it would just be incredibly confusing.
Yeah, and even in situations like Monsters All Out Attack, where the main focus is more so the action than in your typical kaiju film, there's still a lot of kind of like dialogue-driven scenes. It's just nearly inevitable with kaiju films, you know. You're gonna need that long sort of explanation just because some of the concepts are a little out there, you know, and you need a little bit of explaining for them to start making sense within the context of the movie, you know, of the plot. So already you'd be taking a gamble adding more to your lineup just because you know, you already have all this dialogue to fit in. You have we have 4 monsters, so that could be like 8 different situations in which you can decide to pit them against each other. And then you're gonna add another one in there. It's like,
yeah. Then it becomes then it has a bad case of Spider-Man 3, where it's just like new character after new character after new character, and 1 or 2 get so little screen time. It's just like, why even bother?
Exactly. Probably wouldn't be as bad as that, but essentially it would be the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I will say, though, based on what little experience I have with Godzilla, kind of going back to my concerns after seeing the Gareth Edwards one, is that at least in, you know, that Gamera movie that we saw with Steven, yeah, at least that one, you know, I could understand why they had, you know, scenes with the humans, because of, you know, because Gamera's supposed to have like a connection, like especially with children, right, or something like that.
Yeah, he is the protector of children.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping that with this new one, do you think it's possible that they could have good dialogue scenes? Because in the Gareth Edwards one, I just remember they were really forgettable. Like, the characters, aside from maybe Bryan Cranston and Ken Watanabe's characters, I just found most of the human cast to be disposable, to be honest.
I feel that comes partially because, or partially from kind of the focus being more on the kaiju themselves, even though you have all these scenes. And I mean, we have the same situation, like I said, or at least the same potential situation, judging that we have Mothra.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mothra, like I said, is kind of on that same boat. Maybe even more so, as far as kind of like having, you know, kind of like a connection with people. I wouldn't necessarily say children like Gamera, just kind of like people in general. Heck, they're supposed to be, at least in the context that I learned about Mothra, there's these two twins.
Twins?
Yeah, there were these two twins that that would start singing a song, and that's where Mothra would come out. Like, it would wake Mothra up. I'm imagining they're not going through with any of that in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that was kind of the thing. It was like, oh, we need, you know, Mothra to come and help us. Oh, wake up, Mothra. They start singing. So that's just to give you an idea of what kind of context we're looking at Mothra here. So that's
I
kind
just
of
can't
like,
imagine singing the song. I mean, it would just, especially with how dark and
Definitely
foreboding
not.
these movies.
No.
Is it just going to be like...
We have a whole different backstory for it, Mothra here. So that I highly doubt they're going to have them in the film. But, you know, just the idea that Mothra is like a positive sort of like not as violent of a force as, more than anything, Godzilla.
I see.
I think of Mothra as like the healer of the group, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Would you even say, like, protector?
Yeah, more like definitely protector, you know? It's kind of like fend off other kaiju while people are trying to escape. If given the opportunity, you know, move them out of harm's way. You know, let them climb on, give them a ride, stuff like that. Oh, that's all kind of
I
fair
see.
game. Yeah. And then we have the whole scene that we got to see in the trailer where, you know, Mothra even lets that little kid pet them.
Mm-hmm.
From the other trailer that we saw. So that's kind of what's giving me the idea that it's going to be a lot more of that than, you know, just like a force of nature, if you would, like Godzilla. King Ghidorah, oddly enough, isn't like that as much. It's more just like straight up, just like a threat.
Mm-hmm. I mean, would you say that's probably why Godzilla is gonna duke out with King Ghidorah?
Who?
Would you say that's probably why Godzilla's gonna duke out King Ghidorah, or is it kind of just more, or that, you know, Godzilla sees King Ghidorah just as a threat in general, and that's why they're
yeah, more so just a threat. It's like okay, you're out on the savannah, and let's say like a tiger is coming, or a lion is coming at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden a rhino comes in out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you trust the rhino? Absolutely not.
No.
Is the rhino going to fend off against that lion? Heck yes.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, something more like that.
But is it more out of a selfish need, or more out of, you know, protecting other people? You know, again, kind of playing off of the Gareth Edwards Godzilla.
I I'd say it's more so instinct, just straight up instinct.
I see.
Yeah, which is why I use, kind of like a description of like a force of nature, because straight up, it's not any real form of conscious thought. At least they don't typically do that with Godzilla in these situations.
I see.
Even Mothra, I would say, is a lot more instinct too, but Mothra is somehow more able to be conditioned to work alongside others than Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure why, because sadly, I don't know everything or even that much about like all the other extensive films out there, but yeah, pretty much. They just kind of, I don't know. It's really weird. I never really taken the time to really figure out how that works, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's good in this trailer, we get to see who's going to be there, and, we do get promised, yes, Godzilla and King Ghidorah are going to duke it out. I'm, just hoping, okay, great, I just hope that it's better paced. I mean, the trailer, is really exciting, just like the trailers for the, again, the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, but I'm just hoping, that, the movie itself is actually well made, and they didn't just put together the really tense, scenes together and call it a day,
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right,
I mean, I'm just looking forward to those sweet action scenes, bruh.
Yeah, same here. I mean, maybe if I go see this in IMAX, like if Steven is interested, that at least because it's IMAX, you're seeing Godzilla on that 6-foot screen, so that'll at least
Steven, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah, because I know he wasn't too thrilled with the Gareth Edwards Godzilla. I think he liked Kong Skull Island. So I think he at least has.
Watch Kong Skull Island.
Me neither.
It actually looked pretty interesting. I like the first. I like the one prior to it. That one I actually really enjoyed.
Are you talking about the Peter Jackson one?
Yes. I know it.
Nah, it's cool. I mean, although granted, I've only seen bits and pieces of the Peter Jackson Godzilla. I've seen the ending. I saw some part in the middle.
I mean, I don't know. I just really enjoyed it.
No, I'm not judging you. I'm just asking if you're referring to that film in particular, since there were quite a few King Kong movies that were released over the years.
I mean, you could go, straight up to like the like the original, like the old school black and white. And even you're gonna have like a giant gap there of like all these different renditions that happen in between.
I see. So, alright, I think we can end it off here. It's definitely really exciting. We talked quite a bit, and, I'm surprised because, I'm the one who definitely needs a Godzilla education. And, I know, Gabby, you were going on saying that, you technically don't know everything, but you definitely know way more than I personally do. So, that's why I ask you to, who come on with these, because I am interested after seeing the prior Godzilla movie. I'm interested in where it's going. I'm just hoping that it's well made.
Oh, me too. I will admit I have moderate hopes for it. I mean, I'm really excited for the action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That's most of my excitement.
I see. So yeah, hopefully when it comes out, hopefully we get to see it in IMAX. Just in fact, we're planning to see Spider-Man It's the Spider-Verse next week. So it's just it's a Godzilla movie, and Steven usually only goes to IMAX films, sees movies in IMAX if there's something that's worth seeing in IMAX. Gravity. You're being in space, Blade Runner 2049 with that really amazing cinematography. So it's definitely, I would imagine it would at least be on his list.
Gravity was crazy though when we got to see that in 3D. That was, oh my gosh.
So,
I still remember that.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so we'll end it off here. So thanks, Gabby, for coming on and explaining all this.
Well, thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. And until the next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Hey guys, be sure to like this Blood Moon Bobby video if you enjoyed it. Please share this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. Be sure to ring the notification bell to be notified about my latest upload. Follow me on my social media pages at Blood Moon Bobby to find out about what I'll be covering next and for more of my opinions. Thanks for watching.